Thanks, guys. See what we got left up here in products after Scott took most of them the first night. How's everybody doing? Hey, I'm glad that I'm here. Last speakers, I love talking at this time of the event because I got the serious folks that are ready to step up and make it happen. Are you ready? I love hearing all the different folks that we heard tonight or this afternoon. Mauricio, I love listening to Mauricio because I'm a coach, I'm a competitor. I skied professionally for 25 years, and I love people talking to you straight and telling you, hey, this is what we got to do to make it happen, and go get it, and giving you a game plan. So I figure you Europeans like the same thing. Am I right? Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention was, again, we got a couple more seats down here. I don't care if you sit on the floor. If you bought a ticket and you're up in the nosebleed seats and you've already bought a ticket for Madrid, come on down here, okay? I'm going to give you some heads up on how to get this thing done. Pretty much wrapping up, highlighting the folks that spoke ahead of us, because the leadership that you've got in this room is impeccable. I'm just telling you, the folks that came up here, give all your leaders, rubies and above in this room, a hand. Come on down, yeah. Climb up underneath there, right up here. If you've got a ticket for Madrid, look it, Mark is telling everyone that he knows, he wants you down here. I want you to get a vision, okay, of where you can be sitting, okay? You just got to qualify for the black tie. Those of you that were at the black tie event, did we have a blast on Thursday night, Friday night? Scott, I'm telling you, the Europeans, am I right, Sue? They throw the best black ties that there are. And I want to challenge you, if you're going to be a leader like Mauricio talked about, you want to be at the next black tie in Madrid. Can I count on everyone? Who's going to go to the black tie event in Madrid? Gals, or you get to dress up like a princess, okay? You get your gentleman to put a tuxedo on, okay? When was the last time he put a tuxedo on? Okay? You get to be treated first class for an evening by the Montevi corporate team. I challenge everyone to set a goal to be at the next black tie in Madrid, and I'm looking forward to being there with you and spending the evening with you. Again, it's your time to step it up and make it happen. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. The biggest thing you need to do as a leader, first of all, after we break this evening, starting tomorrow, I want to challenge you, kind of talk to you a little bit more of what Mauricio was talking about, that we need to know which one of you wants to be the leader, to step out of the crowd so you can be on this stage in Madrid. I don't know which one of you does. Anybody? Okay, a couple of you. Who wants to be on this stage in Madrid next year? Okay, and I'm not talking to these folks, okay, because we want the new folks that came up here. We want you on the stage. Not now, sorry. We got to translate for her a little bit. But we want you with us. But you're going to have to get with your leaders and let them know that you want to be the person that's going to be up here. Because we want to know which one of you is going to step up and make it happen. Look us in the eye. And let me tell you something. Not one of these is afraid to roll up their shirt sleeves and go to bat. It's part of this business. Last night, the Romanians come over to me and they said, hey, look at them over there. They're all fired up. Okay? They took a bus 2 days. They've been riding on a bus to get here. Anybody here in Germany have someone that didn't make it? Okay, right? All 2 days they've been driving on a bus, and they cornered me, said, we want to be one of them leaders that Mauricio's talking about before he even gave his speech. And then I met with them, and then we went to dinner with Eddie and some of his translator and his girlfriend, and we sat down and we wrote out a game plan, okay? That's exactly what your leaders will do for you if you come up to them and say, hey, I'm serious and I want to be one of those leaders up on the stage in Madrid. We're calling you out because we want you on the stage. We want to be sitting here listening to your story, okay? And if you want to tell your story, you're going to have to let the folks know here that you are serious and you're going to make it happen. And you couldn't find a better time to be doing it because you got momentum. You're filling up a stadium like this. People around the world in Montevideo would dream to have the momentum that you have right here in Europe. So, anyways, we're going to talk about it's your time to win. Everybody want to win? We like to win, okay? We love to win. We're going to, we're talking about elevate. We want your dream to be elevated. I hope this weekend your dream has been elevated. I hope your attitude has been elevated. You got to have a winning attitude if you're going to win, and you got to elevate your skills. I mean, these guys, I'm going to be able to skip most of my slides because the guys and gals before me taught you the how, what, and why to succeed in a way. I mean, Sandra with her beat up, initiate, and revitalize brochure. How about that? All beat up. That's exactly what yours should be looking like. Okay? That's why they're winning, because it's all beat up. And then we're going to set some goals before we head out of here. So, Gina says hi. Hello, Berlin. My wife, Gina, she's not with me. My best friend builds this business with me. She's been texting me all weekend telling me what to tell you. One thing about Gina, okay, and it kind of goes along with the team right here. That's why we love coming here, is losing is not in her vocabulary. She only expects to win. So my calling for you is to start having that attitude rub off on what you heard from this stage. You could tell. Mauricio came to Montevideo because he wanted to have stake in the game, and he likes to win. He doesn't even have losing in his vocabulary either. All your diamonds and above here in the front, everyone on this black tie event, they only see themselves winning. I hope you see yourselves winning in Montevideo along with us, because it's your time to win. We're calling you out. If you want to be the person to win in Montevideo, we want to help you. But if you're not ready, we're going to find somebody else. Is that fair enough, guys? Okay? So Gina says hi. We'll tell you this much. You want to get to Hawaii. There's not a funner person in all of Montevideo on the free trips than my wife, Gina. So if you want to have fun, you want to be with her in Hawaii. Okay? You want to learn how to shop? Gals, you come with Gina. She doesn't shop, she goes buying. She doesn't go shopping, she goes buying. Okay? That's her when she first got her Mercedes. Gals, would you like one of those free cars that Montevideo's giving away? They just made it easier for the car program. Okay? How about a free Mercedes? Your husband might not know that you want that Mercedes, so nudge him. Say, I want one of them Mercedes. I actually helped my upline, 3 of them, get the free Mercedes. I actually helped their wives get the free Mercedes. Okay, what happened was, they didn't even have a car program when I started. Then we were the second folks to earn the Mercedes. And after we got the Mercedes, all 3 of their wives nudged them and said, I want a Mercedes. And then I made their husbands get off the couch, Charlie, Bobby, and Frank, and get their wives a free Mercedes. So maybe you need to help your upline out. You know that you're allowed to pass your upline up. I don't know if you know that. If you want to pass your upline up, we're waving the checkered flag. And maybe it's going to take you way up there underneath that blue light to go get your wife a free Mercedes so that everyone else in the room believes they can get a free Mercedes. Because I remember in Brazil, one couple went out and got the free Mercedes. You know that Brazil was so slow that they were going to shut the country down after 3 years. One couple got a Mercedes. Once people saw that they could get that Mercedes, everyone they're handing them out. Am I right, Mauricio? I remember one event we were just at, they gave 3 of them away. We want to do that in your country. There's so many countries here. Romania, we want to give you a free car. Okay? Well, I don't I mean, I'll help hand you the keys, but I want Mauricio to pay for the car. I mean, the interesting thing is they just announced a car. We never had a silver car or a executive, whatever the executive car program they call it here. We didn't have that. They just announced it in America, and we went out, we had to get new volume with new people. Thought that's pretty interesting because sometimes you've heard from all these speakers. I love Piotr when he's talked about the grass is greener on the other side, or Paul talked about the same thing. We stuck with Monavie. People said, oh, Monavie come and gone. They said, hey, you could go get a free car if you go get some new volume. So we did the same thing that we did to get two other cars, a Mercedes and a Lamborghini, and we got a free Jeep. So now we've got 3 free cars by Monavie. We make Monavie pay. Do you want to make Monavie pay? It's your time. It's your time, okay? Gina says hi. She wants you with you in Hawaii. I love what Scott was talking about, climbing himself up and elevating himself to see where we're going, okay? I took my family in Hawaii up to Haleakala, a mountain in Maui. I had my whole gang, 9 of us, were in Maui at the Diamond trip. Who was in Maui with us? Look it. Who wants to go to Maui for free? Come on, look at this, okay? Do me a favor. We're going to give you in the next 24 months, because I love what Mauricio's talking about, I want you to have realistic expectations that you can go to Hawaii. There isn't a person in this room. One thing that he didn't set was your goal, but me as a leader, I can help you out. Looking at the momentum here, there is not a person in this room, if you decide that you can be a Ruby next year, this time in Madrid. And 2 years from now, 24 months, you can be a diamond in Monavie and be a qualified diamond, a diamond that sustains the volume in 24 months, and then you can be coming to Hawaii every year for the rest of your life. Who wants that? Okay? Now, we need to know about how many hotel rooms that we need to get in the next 24 months. So if you believe you're going to be one of those diamonds, stand up. Look around, Mauricio, I want you to see. Add that up real quick. We got a bean counter in here for us, right? I wasn't real good in math. I negotiated my way out, so. Give yourselves a hand. We're going to talk about it tonight. Get yourself elevated. I want you to experience climbing up 97. Isn't it interesting? Both Scott and I were up over 9,000 feet, okay? And I had my family with me. We want you to be able to do these kind of things with your Monavie business. That's what we're here for, to travel together, have some fun. Anybody like to have fun? Man, you're waving those flags and everything. Let's wave those flags at the top of the mountain. Okay? I mean, the stadium is nice, but it's a lot more fun checking out the sunrise on top over the clouds. That's what we want for you, okay? Again, it's your time. You go start setting the pace. Take this excitement back to your country and start doing the basics that you've been taught all weekend long by these great leaders. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. There's so many of them. This weekend, have you elevated your dream this weekend? Have you elevated your dream? Okay? I showed the Lamborghini up there for Paulo. Okay? Okay? And the interesting thing that I want to help you out, because it's interesting what Mauricio talks about, and I've been working on what you've been talking for the last year with us, or 11 months. When Jean and I first got started in the business, if you heard our story, she was a flight attendant for 20 years and her pay got cut in half. We needed to make $200 extra a week. That's why we got started, okay? Our expectation was $200 a week. So we made $100 our first week. We're halfway there. When we started making over $200, everything else was gravy over the $200. We were ecstatic when they gave us the Lamborghini and $1 million. Think about that. Start talking to your friends. We didn't get in for they didn't even have a Lamborghini program when I got in. Okay? They didn't have a diamond trip when I signed up. There were no diamonds. Okay? Right, Scott? No diamond trip. First trip, they said, let's go to Costa Rica. It was kind of like flip the coin. It was like a dozen of us. We went to Costa Rica. Okay? Come on. We want you. We haven't missed a diamond trip since we went. I'm here to help you run your business, teach you to run your business just like these leaders have, because the reason why they keep going on the trips is because they built it the right way. That's how we're going to teach you the right way how to build your business. But the bigger the dream that you've got, the bigger the business. So I want to challenge you, have you got a dream? Do you have a dream big enough to keep you motivated? That's what you're going to have. Now, interesting, my dream was not that Lamborghini. My dream was to bring my wife home from work. When you get a dream that's in your gut, in your heart, it's a whole different kind of dream, because when you go out to talk to people, well, in my case, I'm a coach, so I like to teach people what I've done. But if you put me in the lobby of the hotel and say, start meeting people, I'm not comfortable doing that. But if I have to do it to bring my wife home from work, then I'm going to learn how to do it, even if I'm uncomfortable doing it. Okay? You got 24 months. Remember, we're not talking 12 months. We got a diamond goal of 24 months. You need to get a dream big enough to motivate yourself so you don't have to call your upline to get motivated. Does that make sense? I need motivated. Okay? Guess what? We're not coming to your country. We're looking for the people that motivate themselves. I've never been to Romania, but because they motivated themselves, I'm going to Romania. Does that make sense? You never want to come up to one of these leaders and say, Mauricio hit it on the head just earlier, and say, we need you here in our country. Don't say that. Because we only go where you don't need us. Because where you don't need us, you're going to build it whether we come or not. Interesting. Okay? So, get yourself a big enough dream. Yeah, and you want to find out the dreams of your team. You want to be able to paint a dream. It all starts with your dream, though. You've got to first figure out what's your why and let that be your motivator. It doesn't have to be materialistic. It could be your kid's college education. It could be getting yourself out of debt. It could be you want some retirement money in the bank. Okay? Have you elevated your attitude? That's my daughter. She's a world champion wakeboarder. Have you elevated your attitude this weekend? A winning attitude. It's a mindset, by the way. You're going to have to leave here. If we're going to do what Mauricio talked about all the way up on the top, I'm talking to you guys up there, you are going to need to have a mindset, a winning mindset. You ever talk to Chico or Bruno, right, or any of the leaders here, Damien, okay? You could tell they got a winning attitude. Does that make sense? You need to have an attitude. You need to elevate your attitude. I hope you did this weekend, a winning attitude. Her last world championship, she won, we had the Salt Lake Convention. First time I didn't travel with her to Asia. She went to Korea by herself. On a broken ankle, she was in a cast all summer, last summer, after she won a most prestigious event. The doctor said it wouldn't heal, so she said, can I still ride on it before you do surgery? And he said yes. She went to Korea just to ride. Wasn't going to win, but her mindset is so strong at winning that she taped it with duct tape, the same duct tape that Scott uses on his ear. She taped her ankle with it and started winning, like you saw in the Olympics, heat after heat after heat, and defended her title as a world champion for the second time. Winning attitude. Okay? I challenge you, when you have a winning attitude and you get it from the system, the MVP system, and from reading, listening, participating like this weekend, your belief goes up now. It's this much bigger. You elevated your belief. you want to start looking for people that have a winning attitude. You ever sponsor somebody without a winning attitude? You end up with the graph that Piotr was drawing out. Remember the victim mentality? They're always complaining. My bottle broke. Here it is a bottle. Is that okay? You ready to go now? Oh, my mom won't get it. They never stop. You find somebody with a winning attitude, they want to pass you up. Then you don't have to do nothing. Start looking for people with a winning attitude just like you are going to have. But it starts with you. If you're not believing that you're going to win, and the person you're talking to doesn't have to be winning at the moment, meaning that I was a world champion. I knew how to be a world champion, but I wasn't winning financially when I first got started in Montevideo, but I knew how to win. Are you with me? Look for people that like to win. Sometimes that's a little tough part in this industry, is because it is a business where we talk about helping other people and guiding them and kind of mother henning them. You know that term here? Is that just helping the people, so much, okay? Because you're looking for the needy. You with me? You know what the term they told me when I first got in Montevideo? They said, they taught this with flight attendant talk. They said, when you'd fly in the plane and the oxygen masks come down, they talk about the drill, and they say, where do you put the oxygen mask on first? Yourself. Everything I'm talking about. First, you got to get with it, like Mauricio talked about. You got to get your act together. Put your oxygen mask on first, then you can help the other people. Some of the people are so needy that you're just going to bless them financially after you succeed. Are you with me? You're looking for people that want to pass you up once you have your winning attitude. Okay. You got to be more positive. I hope after this weekend you're fired up. I hope you got excitement. Excitement. I was telling the Romanians, you don't need to know everything. If you're excited, Scott didn't know the name of the company and didn't have anything in the juice. Do you think he did it with a negative attitude? Okay? I didn't know how to say acai berry. I called it the Aki berry for a year and went all the way to, presidential or something, calling it the Aki berry. You don't need to know everything and rest. You don't have to repeat everything that Dr. Clayton said. Every time I come to one of these, my friends, my carpenter friend, my neighbor Matt, who's a black diamond, by the way, when I signed up Matt, he actually passed me up to diamond and then blue diamond. I was still an emerald. So I was busy rolling up my shirt sleeves, helping my friend. They actually would say in a meeting like this, all the diamonds come up here. Okay? Matt would come up there, a few other diamonds, maybe Scott remembers. Then they'd say, Steve and Gina, get up here. No, we're not diamonds. We're only emeralds. But I had this big smirk on my face because in order to go black diamond, you need 3 people to go diamond, right? If you got 1, you only need 2 more. So I'm like, I got my 1. You only got to learn how to help 1, then you can help the second one and the third one. I've been watching people for 8 years in this business. Somebody passes them up and they get all whiny and upset and jealous. That's what you want people to do in this business, pass you up. I want every person here passing me up so I can sit there and just be applauding every event like this. I'll still come to every event because I love coming to the events. I just want you to be doing the speaking. Are you with me? Let's go do it. Excitement. Didn't even know the name, okay? We used to say when Dr. Clayton, whatever, would speak, I don't know if he's still here, I'd say to Matt, it was nothing I was going to say he wouldn't be able to hear, nothing like that, but I actually said to him, he said to me, was I a little too calm out there? He asked me last night. I said, no, it's actually good that you were calm because we like our doctors that way, calm. I don't want you up there like Detour, like, you know what I'm saying? As my doctor, okay? So it's not bad. We have one calm guy in the room, okay? I mean, I think he took one of them rests before he talked last night, but no problem. But that's just his personality. But we know that okay? Anyways, my friend, I would say to my friend, Matt, do you know what he's saying? Do you understand what actually, I said to him back there, I said, you know what? I actually negotiated my way out of high school, and I learned how to do this. He said, what's negotiate your way out of high school mean? He doesn't even know that, right? I said, well, God didn't give me a lot of intellect. He just gave me common sense. He said, well, you know what? He said, you got a different kind of intellect. I mean, the guy's always thinking. He's like, because you've passed me up financially, so I'd rather be where you're at. Interesting. So I signed him up last night. Just kidding. He's not allowed to, he said, his contract or something, right? He's got to stay. Okay. Anyways, I would say to my friend, what is he saying? Do you know what they're saying? He'd bring in doctor after doctor. All these case studies that they did, they would explain them. They have $4 or $5 million worth of case studies that they've brought up to us, the patents that have been explained. I said, do you know what he's saying? They're like, my friend Matt said, I got no clue what they're saying. All I can tell is that we're going to be rich. So, I mean, I was ecstatic, all that stuff they were talking about rest last night, all right? So, hopefully you elevated your belief level. I hope you think bigger after this weekend. You're thinking bigger, okay? Think that you can be on this stage. If they can bring that many people from Romania, 2 hours on a bus, how many people could you bring? It starts by you deciding. If you've got your ticket for Madrid, by the way, if you're a leader and you're going to be what Mauricio said, there's 2 things that you should be doing after you find out, after you tell your upline that you want to succeed and you want to be one of those folks on the stage. 2 things that you need to do. The number one, first, most important thing is if you're going to be a leader, you get to go to that MORE project and sponsor a child. That's the first thing you got to do. You don't understand the principle. The reason why Monavie is succeeding is because giving is one of the first principles of success. And what better way to give back to one of those kids? I mean, after that video, all right, tears just flowing out of myself and Mauricio. Sue and I are over there crying. Scott's telling me I've never seen it. We've been in for 8 years. That's the best video I've ever seen, put together by the MORE Project. And this genius about sponsoring a child, I have 6 of them on my refrigerator. So we have 4 of our own, 6 kids in Brazil. I guess it makes us Mormon now, right? Anyways, having a little fun with Scott. Attitude check. Am I relatable? You know, it's very interesting by reading and listening and participating, you got to start being relatable when you're talking to people, okay? Sometimes it's not so good to say, hey, you're going to be fired up, you're excited about this. Think about when you first got started. How many folks, when I heard these guys speak, they weren't fired up about getting it in first. I've heard them talk. They weren't fired up the very first time. When you first got in, you weren't excited. You were like me. I didn't want to do nothing. I was too cool. I'm not going to do it, okay? Most people I talk to come to a meeting as a favor. So be relatable. The first time you see them, don't be like Dieter, okay? Okay? Ask yourself, am I attracting people? When you walk into a room, are they coming up to you, okay? You kind of watch me. People are bumping into me, all right, taking pictures, okay? If people are scattering when you walk in, you might need to work on that. Does that make sense? Start watching what you're doing. Understand that if this many people are excited and fired up about their dream and they're going to use Monavie as their vehicle to get them there, there's this many more. Does that make sense? Someone told me here that they have like 1,000 people here in the room, okay? If somebody could bring 1,000 people, you think you could bring 10? Think about that. You got to understand this is working. I love what Randy says. You know, if it's not happening, don't blame the company. You got to look at yourself and then start growing and learning. I love, was it Detour that said you got a year? You got a year you're in the business, then 2 to 3 years you're growing, okay? And then your 5th year on is when you really start succeeding in the business. I tried one of these businesses before, by the way. I put my 10,000 hours. I didn't make any money. I succeeded at a pin. That company didn't pay you like Mauricio. They didn't give cars and all that way. They just gave you a pin, okay? Like toothpaste was like $7. I mean, heard of that before, right? But we succeeded at a rank, a very successful rank. They just didn't pay us. So when we got in Monavie, we'd already put in our hours. We just needed a vehicle that paid, okay? Are you looking for winners? We talk about that. Hey, this is a good thing to think about, right? I'm going to pick a couple top ones of the slides here. Before you go to bed each night, ask yourself, did I do everything possible today to move my business forward? Did you do something today to move your business forward? And if you're doing it as a couple, help each other. Like I usually didn't do anything. Gina did something, so she would say, now we're going to go. We'd get up and we'd go do something. If it was reading, you might have to read. If you need to listen to a CD so you're ready for tomorrow, maybe make your list for the next morning of who you're going to talk to the next day. Heck, if you're serious about making this happen, there's people up all through the night in your town. You got hotels, right? There's a night manager. Do you think he's saying to himself, I want to be a night manager for the rest of my life? This isn't rocket science. It's just do something. If you do something, I remember talking to a guy at a store. Okay, I was in like a men's store, talking to this guy about an opportunity. Are you looking? Are you open? And he said, no, I'm not. As I'm walking out of the store, a guy on the other side of the aisle bumps into me and says, you know, I hate to tell you this. I was overhearing your conversation. I'm looking. Is there any way I could get involved? If you just do something, something is going to happen. Okay? I'm just telling you, if you do something, that's how it starts. Don't try to think you're going to have 1,000 people right off the bat. You got to talk to one person. Okay? Okay. Are you willing to put the effort in? Is your dream big enough to put the effort in? I love what we're talking about. A commitment, at least 2 years. Tonight, I challenge you to write your goal down. I forgot who was talking about it toward the end. They all were talking about writing your goals. Write your goals down, okay? You start from the end in mind. So diamond, Mauricio talked about, that's a good goal, a good flagship goal to be shooting for. You're going to Hawaii. Picture yourself in Hawaii. The girls, Liliana talked about her dream, cutting pictures out. Go get a picture of you and your family. Go to a travel agent or a magazine and get a picture of a family on the beach in Hawaii. Okay? Then you cut the pictures, the faces out, and you put your own pictures in there. You put your kids, your wife, they're on the picture, and you put it up on your bedroom mirror so you look at it every day when you wake up and you put your date for diamond. We're going diamond this date. You're going to be in Hawaii. Because you get what you picture, okay? We were so fanatic when we did it. I don't know if this translates, but you got toilets here, right? It's okay. So we made this sign, and when you lifted up the toilet seat, it said, if you got to go diamond. It's pretty crazy, okay? But it worked, right? Doesn't work real good with the relatives. They really think you're strange, okay? Start booking your calendar. This has been talked about, but maybe I can kind of give you this just a common sense approach about this. If you want this to work and you want to counsel with the leaders here, we got to open up your calendar and you got to say, hey, we showed 5 plans this week and here's who we showed them to and here's was our results. That doesn't mean just talking to somebody. Talking to somebody and showing the plan is not the same thing, okay? You're talking to people. Your skill is to start working at, can I start meeting somebody and can I move that toward sitting down with them at their table, at their house, at a coffee shop, anywhere. You got to start meeting somebody and you drink the product, you talk about their family, you ask them, find out if they have a dream. This is very simple. Ask them if they have a dream. A couple months ago or a month ago, we were with Ken Porter, the other crown in the business. He said he asked them if they have a dream and are they serious? Are they willing to work? Do they have any other way to get their dream? If they say, no, I don't have a dream, he picks up his stuff, turns, and walks away. Okay? Has anyone ever heard me speak before? Did I say the same thing? You don't want someone, you want to bring your wife home from work? I'm not sure. Give me my stuff. You want to get free from your boss? I'm not sure. Give me my stuff. All the Scott's stuff, he sets it out, picks it up, puts it back in his pockets, and leaves. You don't have to, guess what? That'll make a statement. Am I right, Randy? That'll make a statement with your friend. I got people that hung up on me that are now white diamonds, and they've made $1 million with me because I didn't call them back. Never. Their wife, a flight attendant with Gina, said, are you still in that Monavie thing? When you say something and you leave, and you don't call back, and you don't look desperate, they're talking about you at their house. I can't believe they're doing that Monavie thing. I'm going to ask them next time. You don't know what they're saying. I had a guy contact me just a month ago, been watching me for 7 years. What if I'd have quit? 7 years. Can you imagine? I had to give him some balance, some rest. He was all messed up. Okay? Got to book your calendar. You got to start booking meetings. We can't counsel with you if you don't have meetings. I suggest doing at least 4 one-on-ones. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. I love one-on-ones because I can say, Detour, this is Steve. What are you doing? I'm coming over. Okay? You can keep it very simple. You don't have to say, Detour, meet me at 7:30 at this hotel, and now he's going to start asking questions. Okay? If I go to their place, I like meeting them at a coffee shop or their house better than their business, because then I don't get total commitment. I don't get total zone in, all right? But that's the easiest way, is to zone in on we lost the clock. I guess they gave me another hour. Okay. Anyways, it's what everybody else was doing, no problem. Okay. Get in the zone. What I mean by that is this. It starts by if you haven't done any meetings. So if you open up your calendar and you haven't done one meeting, it's kind of like if you haven't worked out for a year, don't start working out 7 days in a row, okay? You'll be burnt out and you can't move. Start by doing one meeting this week, okay? I did one every other week. Then I worked my way up to one a week. If you haven't been showing the plan, start doing it. You can't mess this up, okay? You cannot mess it up. This isn't like building a house. If you build a house crooked, it's bad. This one, all you do is working with people. This is everybody in Europe that's serious. Do you think there's a few more people to talk to? You just practice on people, okay? Get in the zone. What do I mean by that? Eventually, you need to start doing 4 one-on-ones a week and a home meeting. You could do 2 on a Saturday morning. You just got to get 4 in a home meeting, okay? About 15 to 20 meetings in a month. Set a goal to do that. That's not talking to people. I suggest talking to 3 or 4 people a day, 2 to 4 people a day. But those are people, those are contacts. That's not showing the plan. Getting in the zone means now I'm going to focus on talking to people. I'm going to be showing the plan. So much so that you just are showing the same plan. It never varies. It's the exact same plan to the flip chart. You just go through the flip chart over and over again, okay? Your team is going to follow you. If you start doing, guess what? Your team usually does half of what you do. So if you're doing one plan, they're doing a half a plan, okay? If you're doing 5, then they're doing about 2.5, 3 plans. So start doing something, and then your team's going to follow. And I love, Mauricio did a great job today talking about giving yourself a chance to win. It's too many people I've seen since I've been in that didn't give themselves time to win, okay? Have you elevated your personal skills over the weekend? I think you saw what you're going to need to do. You might not have elevated them yet, but at least you saw that these folks that are coming across this stage got their head in the game, okay? And again, do people like to be around you? Are you having fun? You want to have fun building the business. My wife loves to have fun. She loves to have get-togethers at our place. This is her at the Diamond trip because everybody dressed in white. We have a get-together on the Diamond Cruise. So have some fun and start working on that and elevate your personal development skills. That's probably one of the biggest things in this business that you got to zone in on. We'll go over a couple things. Told you, Randy, I was going to put Randy's picture up there that he showed me. I took that off your website, okay? you got to follow the leader. That's probably the hardest part as a professional. You guys are professionals. It's the hardest part at the beginning is you got to follow the leader. But remember when you started your career, you had to follow somebody. Being an intern, listen to a professor in college. It's the same thing here. There's actually a season that you put this together, and it's what Detour said. Plan on the season. You're going to have to learn for a year. You're going to have to put 2 to 5 years of work, 2 to 3 years of effort. Hardest part is when you got a job and you're doing this. Once you just do this, there's nothing to do. We're looking for these meetings. We could be here all night. We got nowhere to go. Okay? I know you got a bus to catch. Don't worry. Who are you following? Are you following somebody that's making it happen? Checklist for you, okay? Are you teachable yourself? Or are you kind of like, I used to have people at my water ski school for 25 years ahead of school, okay? And at first it bugged me. But after you get a little more mature, okay, and they pay about $2,000 for the week to come there for the week, and they would like, you tell them what they need to do, but then they tell you what they're going to do. Eventually you just like, if you want me just to sit here and drive and you going to tell me what to do, no problem. I'll just drive. Why waste my energy? Same in this business. If you're not going to be teachable, Bruno or Chico are just going to go to the next person. With me? Your leaders are going to go to the next person. Coachable the same way. By the way, you could learn more in my school coming to water ski with me in 1 week than you would learn in 5 years on your own. Coming to this event, give yourselves a hand for being here. Just coming to this event, you just saved yourself years. Years. I'll give you a story. I had 100 people in my group. We're going to have an event. It was a 5-hour drive, not 2 days, but 5 hours. I told everyone about it. Nobody wanted to go. I went back to my friend Matt, who passed me up. You sure you don't want to go? He said, no, I don't want to go. I said, you know what? I don't want to go either. Relatable. Who wants to go? Nobody wants to go. They didn't. Eddie, who headed the team up, didn't want to drive 2 days either on a sweaty bus, okay, with a bunch of Romanians, right? But if the end result is, watch, I don't want to go, but if we're going to get free, we got to learn what everyone else done. There isn't a person I got to gold that didn't come to one of these events. Am I right, Randy? Didn't come. So sooner or later, you got to come. That's what I told Matt. If you want to be a doctor, you got to go to medical school. You don't have to go tomorrow, but if you want to be a doctor, sooner or later, they're not just going to say, here's a scalpel. Practice on me. Okay? You got to go. So I said, you were swinging a hammer for 30 years, and you said you don't want to swing a hammer for 30 more. He said, okay, I get it, I'll go. Him and I went with our wives laughing at us all the way, okay? And in 6 months, he quadrupled his pay as a carpenter. Hey, what if it took 3 years for you to quadruple what you make? What if in 2 years you made your salary? You go diamond with us in 24 months and you make what you make in your job, but it's on the side. Think about that. He passed me up. The other 99 that didn't go, they were calling me up, whining, complaining. My bottle broke. I can't sponsor my aunt. I don't know anybody. You don't know anybody? Matt knows. I mean, think about it. You want to start thinking about saving your time. If you're going to come to Madrid, it makes sense to bring as many people as you possibly can so that they can get the information, the belief, and go back home and tear this up when they get back home. Make sense? From my experience, okay? Number one most important thing you could do in network marketing is bring your people to the big events. Number one, okay? You notice how those deer are just following each other right down the way. If your leader is coming to this event, you just follow them. Come to the event. I never liked to put president. I put president on my card one time when I owned my own business, and it's the biggest headache that you got. I feel bad for Mauricio having to have CEO on his card, okay? I just started not putting anything on my card because if they don't know you're the owner, then they don't complain, okay? If you're behind your leader, you don't have to take all the hits. You just follow along, and it's the funnest. It's a fun ride. It's an enjoyable ride to do that. Okay. Now again, There's a lot of people, hey, I got to be the person. You don't want to be the person in this business. You don't want to be the person. You want everyone else to be the person, just like Mauricio was talking about earlier in your leaders, okay? Persistency pays off. Guys talked about that. Stay consistent. Stay humble, okay? I talked to, where's Vlad? He was with me. We were in Russia a while back. I drive a Lamborghini at home, okay? I went to Russia and I drove in a Lada. Where's the Russian Gina? Where is she? Somewhere around here. Okay, what's her name again? Irina, where is she? She's in here. She's fired up, okay? There she is, waving the flag up there. She drives a Lada. We had 5 of us in the car, me and Vlad, my friend Pavel, and as we drove, it's made in Russia. Every time you hit a bump, the trunk opens. So we have to stop. It's freezing out. Someone's got to, we draw straws. Who's going to shut the trunk? And then we drive, going from meeting to meeting, shutting this trunk. Stay humble. Don't believe the headlines when they start patting you on the back and give these nice pins and everything. If you want to keep your pin and you want to move on to the next level, just stay humble. Don't be afraid to set up chairs. Do whatever needs to be done to make it happen for you and your team. Because nobody wants to follow anyone that walks around like, people go star 500. They're like, see that pin? It's a star 500. I ain't getting no chairs. Okay? Come on. You want to stay humble. Take yourself all the way to the top. Okay? I got some leadership slides. I don't have to go through them. Because leadership is all about servanthood. And it's all about following. You want to follow and duplicate a leader. That's what you really want to be doing. And when you find a leader, you want to duplicate them. And you have the best leaders in all of Monavie here in Europe. Recently we've been traveling around, okay? Brazil's got some great ones here, but here you've got the best of the best right here in Europe. If you are a ruby, one of the rubies that went across or above, any ruby or above in this room, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. I'm not going to talk on leadership because you got them all in the room here. You got the best examples in Monavie right in this room. Give your leaders a hand and look at their faces. Guys, turn around and look at everyone because here's who you're going to want to be talking to. I'm proud of everyone. I can't even name look at them all standing up. I put in my notes. I had extra notes on my cell phone in case I ran out of slides or whatever. I said that a lot of the leaders here we didn't know like 3 years ago, and then we've gotten to know all of you, and you know that I got your back, you got my back. Can you imagine where we could go right now? We've got a gentleman that's not afraid to make sure we are sitting in the best position to win for Monavie at the helm. He's got a great team of people making us look good here. They didn't even take the curtains down yet, okay? And we've got the leadership all knows who's in the room. Hey, like we talked about earlier, people have come, people have gone, but the people in the room, Scott knows he can count on me, and I know that I can count on Scott and Sue, okay? We've been snowmobiling together, okay? He took my kids. I got 3 daughters, and we couldn't, we were all geared up. We got the suits and everything, and he showed up, him and Sue, and they're fired up. They're used to the snowmobiling, okay? You probably all are here too. Took us out, and we got to the farthest point of the ride, and that's when my girls wanted to go home, remember? Scott said, you can't go home. It's just as far to, they wanted to turn back. And he's like, it's just as far to turn back as it is to go the other way. We got snowmobiles stuck. You want to start spending time with these leaders. We've been on, remember snorkeling, guys? We were all snorkeling on the snorkel trip. So we all know, snorkeling with a bunch of Polish folks with their I was going to say bikinis with their Speedos on, okay? But my girls are like taking pictures, with their jerseys on. I actually went up to the restaurant in the hotel just before when you guys were playing. They were playing the water volleyball with their jerseys on. Man, Romania, you are going to stand out. We need you to be on the volleyball team, all right, with your jerseys. But anyways, the waiter said to me, geez, you guys have really stepped it up this year. You got your own jerseys. They even brought jerseys this year. Of course, it was only the Polish team that had the jerseys. Okay, right? All right. Hey, we talked about MVP all weekend long. Let me give you the biggest thing on the system I can give you in a nutshell. Stick with the system we have because it's working. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Keep it simple. There's a slogan you might never have heard. It's on the very bottom of this. I don't know if even some of the leaders might not have known. Wherever the tools are flowing, so where you see starter kits moving and people tearing up their initiate brochure. I remember when my upline came to do my first meeting, Matt and myself fought him for the tools. We actually ripped one of the books in half, okay? Where you see tools flowing in your business, people are growing. What happens when people grow? We talked about it all weekend. They start moving in the business because their belief level in the industry and Monavie and themselves, they have confidence. Let me help you in this much. When you have confidence, Randy will back me up on this, when you have confidence on what you need to do, follow the initiate brochure, everyone. Making a list, contact, showing the plan, okay? Plugging people into the new distributor orientation. When you have confidence, you're going all the way. It's all got to do with confidence. Not as much confidence only in the company, confidence in what you are doing. That's what MVP is all about. Understand, you want to use the system. Whenever, I was even teaching my Romania friend because Vlad was telling me that, hey, this guy is one of the hardest workers. Wherever you go, his phone is always ringing. Interesting. If you know anything about this business, you don't want your phone to ring. You know how you make sure your phone don't ring? I was teaching Eddie. When somebody asks you a question, you want to know your tools so good that you can point, here's where it says. Now, I don't mind you telling them, but point to where it's at as well. So when you're in Hawaii, you can enjoy the volleyball game with us. Otherwise, you're going to have to be on the side on the phone. Does that make sense? Unless you want to always be on the phone, but it's no fun. That's what a system. Why would you buy a McDonald's or a Burger King for their system? We got the best in the business. You want to plug in to the system. What is it? Reading, listening, participating at the big events, and duplicating yourself by just promoting the system. I talked about this. Just do something. You can't mess this up. You got to do something. We talked about the 4 income generating activities. We talked about that all weekend. Let me give you this thing. This is for some of the leaders right here. If you're not where you want to be, this is interesting. 2 things, the last 2 points. After you show the plan, hey, when you show the plan, what's the most important thing to do when you show the plan? What do you think? Most important, it's a good thing, but the number 1 most important thing, if I said to Michael, and Michael said to me, Steve, I just showed Bruno the plan. I just showed him the opportunity. If I could say to Michael, what's Bruno's dream? And he doesn't know his dream, he didn't show the plan. Remember what I said earlier? Call him up, I'm coming over, okay? You drink with them. You talk about their family because people want to know, they want, you sincerely want to know because of what Mauricio said. It's part of the business. When people know how much you care about them, they're going to stick with you in that little incubation period, okay? Then you ask them, what is it that you'd like to have? Are you serious about bringing your wife home? Did anyone call you last week and said, I want to bring your wife home from work? Okay? Are you serious? Right? You ask his wife, Betty, is he serious about bringing you home? Okay? Yes, I seriously wanted to come home. All right? Now he's stuck. He's got no other way, and he wants to bring his wife home. If he says no, I'm going to have to say, you said you got no other way, and you seriously want to bring her home from work. I guess you aren't that serious about bringing Betty home from work. Is he, Betty? Now understand this. When you leave, you're going to book a follow-up, but they're going to have a conversation. You're not always trying to make friends here. You're starting to start conversation, okay? Because before Monavie, I don't know about you, but I'm watching the TV, watching sports, and she's folding the laundry. Now, all of a sudden, we got a conversation going, and they not always are going to agree. I mean, when you go to buy a car, no husband and wife want the same car. She wants a sports car, okay? Or my wife wanted the nice big Suburban with the wheels and everything, and I'm saying, no, we need a family van. Can't we just put a racing stripe on the van? Okay? Same thing here. Find out, write that down. Find out what they want. Book a meeting from a meeting. Let me help you in this. When you have a home, if this is my home business review, I want to book a meeting. Now, if you're in my business, I want to book a home meeting with you. If you're brand new, a guest of a friend, I want to help him have a follow-up, or I'm going to follow up with you. You want to start following up and get with people in the next 24 to 48 hours, okay? And gals, you might have to remind your husband. I've left the meeting, and guys, we're kind of like this. Like I tell my wife, we're walking down the sidewalk. How'd I do? Pretty good, huh? You know, she said, yeah, you were good in the meeting, but bozo, you forgot to book the follow-up. Go back, knock on the door, embarrass yourself, and book a follow-up. And book a date in your calendar, okay? Because you ever hear the word, the fortune's in the follow-up? You definitely want to follow up, okay? This is the one for the leaders right here. No matter how successful you get, you can't ever sponsor enough personally sponsored people. All right, Randy? All right? I call it the creative stage. All the creative stage is contacting. Let me give you a quick heads up on contacting. You don't really, Randy teaches this great. You don't go around, and everyone has their own personality, their own way to do it. We got the great CDs to teach you, but as long as I'm here, do you mind if I tell you a couple tips? Don't go and say, hi, Mauricio, Monavi. It sounds desperate, like nobody greets people that, hey, how you doing, Scott Monavi? That's strange. You shake people's hand. I was with my upline, Frank, the other day, and we were at I took him to a sub sandwich place, and on the way out, he said hi to the guy coming in. And he said, man, this is a great sub place. My friend Steve here just brought me here. He said, where are you from? He said, I'm from here. And he said, where are you from? He told me where he was from. He said, well, I'm doing some business up there. He said, really? They chit-chatted a little bit. He said, you know what? He turned to the lady at the sub place and said, can you give me a piece of paper and a pen? And she gave her the paper bag that they put the sub sandwiches in and a pen. And he said, write your information down here. I'm going to give you a call. Never said nothing about Monavi. He wrote down everything, his email, his phone number, where he lives, everything, and gave him the sub sandwich piece of paper. And he said, you mind sticking that in my bag on the way out? I unzipped his backpack, and all these sub sandwich papers fell out, and business cards and napkins and names on everything. I said, you got 1,000 names in here. He said, yeah, sometimes I never contact them. I never have time to contact them, but I'm always staying in the creative stage, meeting people. As leaders, you want to keep doing that, because you know what? You could sponsor the next Bruno and Chico tomorrow. They could pass everybody up in the room, okay? You could sponsor the next Scott and Sue, Steve and G. You don't know who you're going to sponsor, okay? But you want to stay in the creative state, and you're teaching your team the same thing. So when you're telling your team to do it, they know that you've done this. You're doing the exact same thing. Okay, become a professional. Couple quick things. Do your daily habits. Can't find a better guy to teach you than Randy on that. But start committing to get working up to those meetings. When you're talking to people, ask about themselves. That kind of goes along the lines with what Mauricio was talking about. Find out a little bit about them. Stop talking yourself about the product, about yourself. Find out about them, and you're going to create a friend that's going to stick with you. Even when they get into business, when I sponsor you, the best people in the business, Francisco does this, all right? Chico, he finds out about the person, not talking all about how big Monavi is. They don't even care. They want to know how much you care about them. We talked about that earlier, okay? Dress for success. I thought that was interesting because I normally don't wear a tie. So I thought I'd put that in there for some of you, for Randy and a few folks, okay? For Blake. Watch this. Yesterday I couldn't stand the tie. I couldn't breathe, so I had to go back, change, came back here. But Vlad was with me. Actually, Vlad was with me in Poland, and I didn't wear a tie. But he's the one saying, man, you look sharp, didn't I? I mean, when I say you don't wear a tie, you still, before you go out, this is important. Before you go out every day, I don't care if I'm in flip-flops in Florida, put a shirt, look somewhere where if you met somebody, they'd want to talk to you, okay? this is not just the suit time. This is like in daily life. Start looking sharp because you're looking for sharp people, right? Sharp people aren't going to be talking or thinking that you're successful if you don't wear a nice pair of shorts and a nice pair of flip-flops, okay? Instead of a pair of ripped-up jeans. This is throwing it at you to help you out. So this is one couple quick zingers for everybody. I wanted to throw a couple things because I talked to Blake and I want everyone to break out of here and win. I don't know if you understand this, but the word edification in this business is huge. I want guys up in the nosebleed, this can make you $1 million. This is how simple it is. When my upline did my first meeting, I told everyone, you can't wait to meet my friend. You've got to meet my friend Charlie. He's coming to my house. You got to meet him and hear what we're doing. He's very successful. He came in his motor coach, okay? He showed up at my house. I didn't have a whole lot of friends, but from that very first meeting at my house, guess who he talked about the whole night? My wife and I. You are so lucky to be working with Steve and Gina. They know what to do. They're going to help you. They're dreamers. They're going to help you build this business. Edification. If you have a guest, let's just say this is an open meeting tonight and you got a guest. I want you would bring Kasha up to me all day long, and if you get it, if you bring him up to Randy, here's what he's going to say. Kasha, this is a huge opportunity. You need to stick with Piotr. He is going to tear this up. He's going to be very big in this business. You need to get, this is like I'm giving you am I right? This is like a little chalk talk that you would get, can make you $1 million. All it is I build you up as the upline. Don't believe everything, okay? And then when you come to my house, or if I'm at a meeting, a lot of people, they can't wait to leave. They're at the open. They work their tail off to get a guest, and as soon as it's over, they're out the door. If they would have brought that guest up to one of the leaders, because we know what to say, we're going to build up the prospect. We're going to find out a couple things. Maybe you didn't catch his dream or her dream, and we're going to build you up. And they're like, man, that speaker really spoke highly of you. I want to get in business with you. Simple little thing. Now, guess what? You're a leader. Remember we talked about? What did Mauricio's sign say? You're the leader. I think, something close to that, right? So after tonight, you know the power of edification. You need to start doing that yourself. First of all, get it. Don't leave the meeting too soon. Go up to the front to the leader. He's going to build up your guest and build you up. He's going to compliment your guest and tell him how important you are and how successful you're going to be. Can make you $1 million to not leave early. And by you learning how to promote the person coming to your place, or doing hey, we're going to do a one-on-one. You got to meet my friend Randy. Okay? And when Randy comes, he's going to tell my friend that Steve is on his game and he is going to be very successful in his business, even when I'm just beginning. That's how powerful that can be, all right? Okay, promoting. Real quick on this one. If I was you, every single one of you, before you leave tonight, I hope they have the tables open. I would go get my ticket for Madrid. I'd have one for my spouse, and I'd get an extra ticket or two so that you are ready to promote. This whole industry is about promoting. Right on the top, the biggest promoter has the biggest business. Whoever has the most people here this weekend is going to see the most growth over the next 90 days going into the summer, right? Promote your products, your home business reviews, your opens, your city meetings, your majors, okay? Your goal is to have 4 people, 4 legs here, 4 personal legs in this meeting, okay? Set yourself a numbers goal. This is the Japan event that Scott was talking about, okay? If you believe that we're going to have an event this big in Europe, we're going to have one, okay? I mean, if you really think about it, if everyone decided, remember what I said, you're going to set your numbers goal, because it all has to do with the numbers. Anybody successful in this industry will tell you, you should have a number. When you leave here, if you're going to be a professional, you should say, okay, I've got, how many Romanians there? Let's just say you got 50 of them, right? Okay? You're going to set a goal to bring 50 more, or go around, better yet, with every goal that everyone talked about, whether it's diamond, going ruby, going bronze, silver, gold. going to the next event, you want to not only myself set a goal, but I want to go to Michael and say, Michael, what's your goal? I want to know I want to help you set a goal. So now he's got a goal. Now I can add his goal to my goal. So if he wants to bring 50 people, I know that's his goal. Be realistic too, but I mean, seriously, if you got 50, you could bring 100. Does that make sense? Between now and Madrid, it's not unreasonable for everyone to believe that they could bring 10 new people. If you want to be a Ruby in the business, you should set a goal to bring 50 to 100 people between now and Madrid. I just start setting a goal, work toward it. But think about that. If everybody in this room brought 50 to 100 new people, that's us in Madrid. Let's make Blake search for a place big enough. Is that pretty cool? All right? Set your goals. We talked about that throughout the day. Elevate you. Decide this weekend to elevate yourself. Elevate your business. Step it up a notch. Elevate your spiritual life. I put God first. Gina and I put God first. We pray every morning we wake up. God, thank you for a beautiful day. If you don't know how to pray, just say, God, help. Okay, you don't have to be great at it. He knows what you need. You know what you, look, I can't even talk. All right? He knows that you need to have somebody come into your life and give you the favor with them and wisdom of what to say. And sometimes it's just hi. And next thing you know it, you start a conversation. My most unsuccessful talks usually have been my most successful people that I've built the business with, okay? Take your friends by the hand, by the way. If I didn't mention it, take them by the hand. They've been telling you all weekend, you don't have to be good at it. You just got to go start talking to your friends' friends. You usually have a gift. If you're in the room here and you can personally sponsor people, anybody good at personally sponsoring? Okay? Here's a quick tip for you. If you have a gift of personally sponsoring people, this is right up what Mauricio's saying. Take your gift and go help your friend sponsor his 2 people. Too many people are just enrolling their own personal people. I got a guy that's ripping it up in Florida because I challenged him. He kept coming to all the events, winning everything himself. Carlos, he won like 6 iPads. I'm like, what are you going to do with 6 iPads? Okay? And he's like, I got 6 iPads. I'm like, this business is not about you having 6. Do you have anybody in your group with an iPad? No. That's not how you build it. You build it by helping other people hit their goal. So go with them. Make the phone call. I have proof. I have a gentleman that's made $1 million with me in Monavie as a purple diamond in Canada. He was a Zamboni driver, cleaning the ice. He only had a couple people at his first meeting. So I said, I'm going to go and make the calls with you. And I helped him make a call. He said, you are terrible at the call. Give me the phone back. I've never had to make another call for him. So you just got to show them that you care, okay? Enjoy the journey. Have fun. People want to be around fun people. Would you agree? Come on, if you're not jumping like Dieter, right? And Jan, okay? I want to be around them, okay? You're a winner, you were born. Start saying to yourself, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm terrible on the phone. That's not my gift. I got to be encouraged. But if you keep saying, hey, I can do it. I'm a winner, right? I was born to win. God made me to win. You're going to start seeing success. Believe it, speak it, achieve it. Sense of urgency. I'm not going to go through this, but I love these 2 statements. There's 2 ways to build. Either fast and fun and slow and painful. You might be building it right now slow and painful. Let's step it up a notch and start having some. Does that make sense? Fun is where it's going to be. And with all the stuff they're bringing on, I mean, you should understand this compensation plan. I'm not going to go through it, but they have just made a game changer in the industry by helping us have 60% of our volume in one leg to go from ruby on up to purple and white diamond. So give it your hats off to the folks that have helped us on that, okay? And Scott going in. Corporate's talking about Scott and myself and a few of the guys, Ken Porter, we had them in a headlock. The interesting thing is we were able to go in there. They said, negotiate with us, help us out. We had them in a headlock. They put everything. We said, when we build the business, we don't build three legs even. We have an A leg, a B leg, and a C leg. Most of our volume, we sponsor someone like Bruno, and he tears it up. I've got an A leg. If I got to have all the legs even, it's a lot more difficult. You are going to start seeing rank advancements like never before. Get ready. Get excited. This is a whole new day. It's for you. They set you up. Not going to talk about that. Oh, what I'm going to talk about on that thing was, what are you going to do? You heard all these talks. Sue talked about it at one of our last events. What are you going to do on Monday? You're all fired up here, okay? Everybody give you a bunch of ways and not motivational, but inspirational things to go make your business happen. But on Monday morning, you're going to wake up. It's just going to be you and your wife. Are you going to go have a list for you before you break out? Before I go to bed, I make a list of who I'm going to talk to. I don't always have their phone numbers. I'm going to stop by the dry cleaner. Remind the guy that I bought paint from him. Who are you? Remember I bought that paint from you? Oh, it doesn't really matter if you don't remember me. Here, this is what's going on. You just start bumping into people. He's somewhat of a warm contact because you bought paint from him. Start putting names down and start making it happen. The best time, Randy, this is perfect for everyone. The best time is to start making phone calls on that bus on the way home from Romania, head to Romania. The best time is when you break out of here. I've got to come see you. You will not believe. Don't wait for a week to start making the calls. Start making them tonight. Hey, you know what? Just be short. I remember I was driving in a taxi in New York City, and I called a friend and said, hey, because that's what I did. I was a sales rep for a promotion agency, and I say, I'm in a cab in New York City. What are you doing on Tuesday night? You're in a cab in New York City? This must be big. Call them up, say, look, I'm in Berlin. I got to see you on Tuesday night, on Monday night. Start setting them up. Hey, book 2 nights. If you're doing one-on-ones, you can go see 2 people in a night. Start booking them, but let me help you in this. Whatever you do, I want you to be visioning 24 months, and I want you to be able to keep the pace. So don't burn yourself out. Whatever you believe you and your family can do, you want to keep that pace, okay? We did 1 meeting every other week. Then we worked up to 1 meeting a week. After about 2 or 3 nights a week, we started doing it. We started saying, man, everyone that comes to the meeting gets in. Not everybody came, but we were productive every night. Then we said, let's do 100 meetings, 125 meetings in a row, and we went Black Diamond in 125 days. I mean, again, look at, somebody just got in, went Ruby, and how long did they say up here? It was like an incredible amount of time. You could be in this room. You know the friend that went Black Diamond in Brazil was in for 18 months, never did anything. I was in for 90 days, never made a phone call. I am too cool to do this, and move through the ranks. You don't know who it's going to be in this room. We don't even know who it is here. Some of you came here. You're up there. You're probably going to be the ones. You're going to be, like Mauricio said, on this stage, okay? The journey's worth it, okay? I want to find out again, who's going to step up to be one of them leaders that Mauricio talked about? Who's going to step up and decide to be a leader 24 months ago from now? By the way, let me help you on this thing. Don't get so hung up on setting a goal that's attainable. The reason why I say that is because my upline set a goal to go diamond in 3 years. And 6 months later, they were diamonds because they set the goal. It is an attainable goal to go diamond in 24 months. Stand up if you believe that you're going to be a leader. You're going to go ruby in 1 year. You step up to be a ruby next year. If you really believe, I don't want to just stand up for the heck of it. If you sincerely believe you're going to be one of them leaders Marito's talk about, stand up. Now, guys, we're down here. Hopefully you got some binoculars and you can look up those guys that are standing up. Those are the countries that we're going to be focusing on, helping this make it happen. Guys, it's been a great weekend. We love you all. We believe in you. Go make it happen. Run for Madrid. God bless you.